our special Eisenberg. And of course, my sister is here, Reg. We are doing really, really well. But listen, last night, after we got off air, we had an amazing conversation. I mean, we were like on the phone an extra half hour, 40 minutes. They basically kept me on the phone through a meeting that I was also on. So that tells you that was a great conversation. And we just want to jump on here like we do and share some of that conversation with you. So again, Hal Eisenberg, premier sponsor. He is the founder of the Eisenberg Leadership Academy. And we're going to drop some more nuggets because y'all remember last night he said acceptance and how you react before you react. Think about, is this going to benefit me and how, or not? And I'm paraphrasing. He was a lot more eloquent with it. It's about accepting responsibility. So he's going to drop some more nuggets. So I want to dive right on into it. Hal, how are you? Welcome back to Rise and Thrive Together.
Thank you. Thank you both for having me. First of all, Raquel, I'm so glad that you sound better. You were such a trooper last night pushing through, and today you sound like it's a miraculous recovery. So God bless. Like, that's
Thank you.
awesome. And by the way, I think what you do as this like behind the scenes day after thing is such a freaking cool concept. Okay. I can't tell you, like, we were talking a little bit about the Passion Center yesterday, and we do all the passion breaks and passion nights. So it was the original version of passion breaks. And every single time when we get off and we have a powwow after, I'm like, oh, I wish we talked about this. I wish we said that. Or when I review the tapes, I'm like, oh my God, like I wish we were like, oh shit. I mean, it's always great. But I was like, oh wow, I wish I could have like said that. Because in the moment, you're in the zone and you're in the
Mhm.
flow. I'm talking to two great souls here, and you're like, you don't know what's going to come out. But you guys created this brilliant like day after thing, which I love. I think this is awesome. So kudos for this.
You can absolutely borrow it. Yes.
Yes, you can.
And anytime you want to, you can do a behind the scenes for your passion center, the passion center that you were a part of, or anything else you're doing. You are more than welcome.
I'm totally pitching it. I'm totally going to pitch that idea.
Awesome. Awesome. We're going to dive right back in here. So thank you so much, Hal, for coming back and coming behind the scenes. We had a couple of conversations last night, and there is something that Hal, for you guys who have not seen the show, what's great is watch it, hit replay. And so two things I'd love to have you really dive into. One was Raquel had a conversation of, what is love? Like, what is love for you? That's number one. And number two would be that you were very touch moved, inspired by someone we mutually know very well. And, we'll get to that part because I think you wanted us to read it. And then what that nugget that you have back to share. So let's start with like the whole, like, what is love? Like, really, what did that come up for you? I think Raquel is, if you want to just kind of say, so we can give the listeners who didn't watch last night, why you said what is love for Hal. If you can kind of recap in some way.
Oh, me or Hal?
Raquel, you.
Oh, I know why I did it for me. It's because I just want to know, I want that perspective of what is love. And it was about, we were talking about Sal. I called him Sal last night. Hal, I talk quicker than my mind can listen. I'm a New Yorker by trade. I grew up there. Don't mind me. Sorry, apologies. Hal, I will sound my words, enunciate. Hal was talking about, we were discussing his book. Jump on in.
The Becoming Beautiful Souls Part 1.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So he mentioned love and he was talking about love and how he started the book. And I was like, well, wait, I want to know what's love. I'm a single person. Not that all single people need to know what love is. Whatever. I was talking about me. It was about me. Okay. And I wanted to know what his definition of love is. And he started to say, oh, I've got a great conversation. And then the conversation shifted. I didn't forget it. Right? Because I still want to know. And that's how it came about. But I'm really giving you nothing as an audience because I want y'all to go back and watch the show.
Nice.
So get that. And now we're going to hear what Hal has to say. What did you mean? What is love? What is it?
So I love that you asked this question, because I always wanted somebody to ask me this question, like on a show. And now I'm like, okay, now this is the moment I get to really talk about this. I feel like, so I've done a lot of soul searching about this, and a lot of the soul searching is partially aligned to the book. Part of this book is my journey of this discovery of love, right? It's a journey of discovery of spirituality, and you do a lot of that through. Yeah, fine. Sorry, I'm in a school right now, so people are walking in and out. So
All
bear
good.
with us. It's all good. So like part of that is like, this journey of really discovering like who you are and what you're about, right? So I've done a lot of that through relationships. Relationships, really, I think we get it all wrong. So I'm going to get to the definition of love in a second, and how I got to it. I just don't want to like blurt out the definition without giving you this back. But like relationships, I think really are mirrors to areas that we need growth. We're always looking for the perfect partner, right? And then you find somebody and you're like, oh my God, this is perfect. But what feels perfect about it is that they're mirroring a wound in you. And you think your wound is healed until like that breakup happens or that challenge happens, and you're like, wait a minute, that was like a false filler, right? But the relationship is really designed to show you where you need to grow, right? Internally, right? And so when you have that awareness, right, then you get to grow. And that's why you bring in your lessons from one relationship to the next relationship, and your relationship always elevates until you get to this, hopefully you get to this plateau. But I think in that journey of discovering love, or searching for love, this is what I got really, really clear on. And I feel really, really blessed to have experienced this, right? And I don't think love necessarily in the terms that we think about it in society is supposed to always be this long lasting, Disney fairy tale, Disney screwed us all up. Sorry, Disney, but here's the truth. Like, I think we got love wrong, because what love is simply is energy, right? Love is an energy exchange, right? When two people meet and they fall in love, right? Actually, you don't really fall in love. What happens when you fall?
You get
Right?
up.
You get up, but when you fall, right? Real love is like when you rise together, right? It's not falling in love, it's rising in love. And what that is, when you're rising, is it's energy. When people feel really great together, that energy, that frequency, and that vibration, you're attracting two people, like boom, coming together. We feel great, we can take on the world, right? That's that. So love is that energy until there's a challenge, right? And then what happens is the energy shifts, because energy is never still, right? Vibration and frequencies are always moving, right? So therefore that energy is always moving, right? And that's what we call the difficulty and the challenges in the relationships. Our thoughts, our minds, our feelings, our like, why doesn't he listen to me? And how come he's this way? And who's doing the dishes? And why isn't he bringing me my tea? Like, that's an inside joke, everybody.
Inside joke.
So, but the greatest relationships is when you recognize that that's what love is. It's an exchange of energy, and that our energy may not always be aligned, and that's okay, right? Because we want to be aware about it, we want to communicate about it, and we want to work together to keep that energy going together. And what love really is recognizing that somebody else's aura, somebody else's energy, and wanting them to be in the best energetic state that they can be in. And then that person wants the same thing for you. It's not about me, and what can you give me? And I want this, and I want this now. It's we call it partnership, but it's not even partnership. It's just a recognition of like, we're two beautiful souls and we're sharing energy. Now that's in a relationship between partners, but it goes the same way in friendships. It goes the same way in families, right? Now, if you start looking at your friends and your family and you're like, I love you, right? What I'm saying is, I love you, your energy, who you are, what you're exuberating, right? And your energy is meeting my energy, and together our energy is just doing this really cool dance. That's why, like, some people, you walk into a room and you're like, oh, I want to jam with that person. Like, I don't know why, I don't know who you are. We haven't even gotten each other's digits yet, but we're jamming, and then you walk into another room and you're like, I don't know that person, but I'm staying way far away. Right? Because energy is real. We feel it. We feel it on a subconscious level. And then I'm going to leave you with this. So, I've figured out how to say this, but like, we talk a lot in society about spirituality, and we talk a lot about higher consciousness, and everybody has their different definition of what that is. But I actually really believe there's a higher love consciousness. We talk about Maslow's hierarchy of needs and the different stages, and the top is
self-actualization.
Self-actualization. Thank you for bringing me there. I think this is my personal opinion. Sorry, all the psychologists and scientists out there, but I feel like self-actualization is actually really, truly unconditional love.
Yes.
Right? What are you self-actualizing? The fact that we're all love, right? At the end of the day, that's what we all want. That's what we all come back to, even if we're not fully aware of it. Like, if we're in an anger state of mood, what are we angry at? We're angry at that we're not happier, or somebody isn't meeting our needs, or they're not meeting our energy. Because what I really am saying is, I want our energy to be aligned. Right? That energy is called love. That's our essence, So yeah, that's my soapbox. My soapbox on love. There's some of that in Beautiful Souls. I don't know if I expressed it exactly like that, but we dive into. I don't get into that until like book 4. There's a lot of broken relationships, but one of the reasons I called the book Beautiful Souls is because this book wasn't about bashing people in my life. I talked last night about how it was a cleansing for me. And one of the things that came out at the end when I was done with this book is how much I loved every person in my life, even the people that quote unquote hurt me, starting with, my parents and my relationships, and then and some crazy relationships, and just things that I look back now and go, what was I thinking? But they probably look at me too and go, what was I thinking? It's not just about me, right? But the whole point of saying that is they're all beautiful souls, because their energy met my energy, and we helped each other to grow. And I'm the man I am today, and the man I'm still learning how to become, like the first book, The Becoming, is because of those relationships. My friends, my families, the people I dated. At the end of the day, what I want is love, and I want to feel that in every relationship that I have. So I have to be a stand for unconditional love. That, to me, that awareness is self-actualization, and that's higher love consciousness. So.
Oof.
Wow. I feel so special that was all for me today. That was not for y'all listeners and viewers.
Just for you. Just for you.
Okay.
Just for Raquel.
Yes. That was powerful. Thank you.
That
was worth the wait.
Yeah,
thank you for letting me do that. I've always wanted to go on that rant. I've been waiting for years to say that. So
that
thank you.
Far from a rant. That was eloquently put.
Yes.
And what really impacted me, and I know we want to get to Sharon, your friend, her post was when you said relationships expose the areas in a person where we need to grow. Yeah. Sometimes there's a little too much exposure, but that's another show.
That's another chapter in the book to know.
Listen, that's about 5 chapters, and I can definitely be there for support and your muse. But I love that. That was well said. Nothing
Thank
else,
you.
nothing, no other conversation about that. That was, you dropped the mic, you left the room. And wow, thank you for saying that to just me. I appreciate it.
I want to add one more really, really quick thing. Yes, it was absolutely, you inspired all of that. I also think it begins with loving ourselves. You
Mm,
know, like I think the
that
more
part.
we're aware of who we are and how powerful we are in our inner light, I think when when you love yourself, you're checking in with your energy. Remember yesterday we were talking about everything external, right? You know, we forget about the internal. It starts right here. Like this is our power, this is our battery, right? You know, so if we check in with loving ourselves, well, guess what? Now you're putting that loving energy out, and what's going to happen? All the right people are going to be attracted to that energy, and you're going to attract people who love themselves. You know, and that's what you want in your life.
Yep.
Wow.
Raquel is just in the love mode.
I'm rolling in it. Can you see me rolling in
I
there?
see it.
That's so awesome. That's so awesome. Oh
I
my God.
love the fact, bringing it back to when you said love is an energy.
Mm,
You know, when you really, it's so beautifully said, Hal, and you know, definitely it's a mindset, right? Like, and the first thing it was like, oh yeah, it's an energy, and how do I energetically feel about myself, right? Like it's that love of self. Because when you talk about, if you're talking about money, and we talk about money, which is tends to be a struggle for many people, it's money is just energy and exchange. So I love how you gave that kind of flow where my like money mindset, my love mindset might be higher than somebody else's. And it reminded me when you said, I loved how you broke away from relationship, because it's all people, you know, it's our friends, our family, our communities, whoever that, you know, even the people, like, you know, let's, you know, not get into politics, but politicians, like all of that, it is that mirror reflection. And why I say that is Raquel and I had a really incredible conversation this morning. She reached out to me, and there I can now feel, right? Can't you feel it, Raquel? Like what he was saying, that exchange of
mhm.
our energy, right? We had a conversation. It could have shifted, and we felt like, you know, a little bit of like in my voice. And then I can't tell in her voice because she wasn't feeling as good as it was now. But it really is what you said. It's that commitment. It's that love of self first. And then always Raquel brings in like, what's your why? And so my why, you know, is I'm committed to our relationship, not just business, like who she is for me, my love for her as a friend, as a business partner, as a sister from another mister. You know what I mean? So it's really there. And everything just flowed. It was 5 seconds, 10 seconds, maybe maximum. And then the rest of the conversation flowed out. So it was a really beautiful example. And so I really appreciate that. That resonates so deeply. And I'm going to, you know, just keep on bringing that conscious awareness, because we talked about like, so what is something we can tangibly take away from here?
Mhm.
How is like so eloquently putting, it's a conscious awareness, because we're not here to tie a bow. It's been a journey for him, a journey for Raquel, a journey for me, a journey for all of you. Let's get real. And it is constantly choosing this type of work, however you find that work, you know, whatever that is, coaches, programs, you know, books, you know, retreats, whatever that is. But literally taking that on as a journey for yourself, committedly, day by day. So I really, really appreciate this conversation, Hal.
Mhm.
Regina, I think, you know, you just hit on something. I'm not sure exactly where I'm going with this, but I'm being called to like really say this. You know, we're talking about energy and energy exchange and relationships. And when you mention politicians and things in society that affect us, those are things that we have relationships with, you know, and we get so caught up like on social media and with our people that we're talking to, you know, the water cooler talk about, you know, your opinion versus my opinion. And, you know, and there's all this arguing. But if we scale it back and just use the definition of love that I just said, you know, it's a relationship. You're having a relationship with that item. So we'll use politics because that's a really easy example. If I have a relationship with a certain politician, ideal or concept, or I'm angry about it. If we look at it in the terms of energy and relationship, it's mirroring a wound as well, right? And it's about energy, their energy too. Like, so this is where it becomes really challenging, and this gets very spiritually, is like, how do you unconditionally love the people in your life that have different energy frequencies than you have? That's a big one, right? And not easy to do, right? But if we start talking or moving in that direction as society, that's when we'll see humanity like uplift. I don't know. You sparked that thought, Regina. I don't know where I was going with that. That wasn't planned to be said, but that's what came up for me from what you just shared.
That's so beautiful. But in the time that we have left, I know you guys want to give a special dialogue to a friend of yours, Sharon, who left a comment in the Rise and Thrive group, and it so impacted all of us. So really quickly, what do you guys have to say to her and about what she posted?
Go ahead, Hal.
I don't have her post in front of me, but I was in tears this morning. I just really wanted, for those of you who want to go on the Rise and Thrive page, and there's like 20 something comments now, and they're growing, which I feel so grateful for. So please continue the conversation. And Sharon dropped about 5 or 6 or 7 really golden nuggets on there. And I just want to like really shout her out, because the stuff that she said was brilliant. I was like, you could be taking my place on the show right now. But she was talking a lot about 9/11, which was, was a big part of the conversation. Side note, happy anniversary, Regina. That was your anniversary yesterday for you and Josh. So we can't forget that. That was in my notes. But Sharon brought us back in her comments to her experience during 9/11. And the role, I guess, that we possibly played in her life, as well as just a lot of the stuff that she was experiencing and her own growth. And I think that's what Rise and Thrive is about, and that's what these conversations about. And that's what my book is about. My book series is about. And that's what Transforming Education is about. This is all about us becoming the best versions of ourselves. And I really got to see Sharon's best version of herself that she shared in the comments. So I just really wanted to highlight that and thank her from the bottom of my heart, and just share my love for her, my gratitude for her. So Regina, I mean, we go back with Sharon and her husband a long time, and you have a very special relationship with Sharon as well. Do you want to comment on her comments?
I just want to, I think Raquel said it perfectly, which is, what it takes something. It takes something to get vulnerable and raw and real, especially nowadays, like you were saying about commenting on a very public page. And so I want to just say thank you, Sharon. Thank you for, just taking on yourself and connecting to who we know you are, which is love. I've had a long journey with Sharon, and it's been a beautiful one of having her tap into knowing herself, how brilliant she is, mind, body, and soul, that she is love, and that she radiates everything that she wants for herself and her life, and especially the people that she really wants to help. And it was very moving. And she reminded me, right? Like she just reminded me of like, we have a community here, and it's a sacred one. We will hold that space for you guys to know that this is a place where you can share your thoughts, your feelings. And now I've got a whole new way of being, of knowing that, oh, it's an energy exchange. And so if there's something that's triggering me, or something that's said that's on there, like Hal said, take a moment, stop, take a breath. I teach this often. Where is that in me that's not healed? Why is that triggering me so much today? And Raquel and I talked about this today. So I really appreciate that, Hal. I appreciate you, Sharon. I appreciate all of our listeners, all the people. Here we go. We're another half an hour into it.
I know. So before we wrap up, I want to shout out Adelia. Hi. And I hope you got an action. I hope you contacted Hal. I won't put you on the spot more than I have already.
We already friend requested each other.
Awesome. This was so amazing. Thank you so much, Hal, for coming back on our behind the scenes. We truly appreciate you. We appreciate your nuggets. Please tell our audience when your book is out and where they can get it.
So it's the book is coming out the first day of fall, September 23rd. That's I think next week, next Saturday, I think. It's going to be available on Amazon. You can check my website, my social media pages. There'll be links all over the place, and I hope you enjoy it.
Tell them the title again.
So it is The Becoming Beautiful Souls Part 1. It's a 4-part series. The other 3 parts will be coming out the first day of each season coming up.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Y'all go out and cop that book. In case y'all don't know what cop means, get that book. It is going to be to your benefit. Thank you so much, Hal. We truly appreciate you. Thank you for telling and talking to me about love. Just me. I keep saying that. We appreciate you and thank you so much. And remember, together we can rise and thrive. Till next time.